Jorge Roberts is the CEO of AvPORTS, which manages 8 airports across the country. Jorge, welcome, including, we should say, private airports and commercial airports like Westchester County Airport. So how are you thinking about what the future looks like?
Yeah, I think we're in the age of accelerated innovation. Over the long term, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more autonomous vehicles and equipment, more people disinfecting portals, remote operations and control towers. I think over the medium term, we're going to be seeing more redesigned security checkpoints, integrated health checkpoints, as well as thermal scanners and temperature scanning. In the short term, I think people could expect same measures that we're seeing at the grocery stores, including hopefully will be less wait times and touchless interactions. And we're going to have to define also the curbside experience as the airports start to manage the flow inside the terminals.
I mean, you're laying out a lot there. You know, in the post 9/11 period, it's hard to think of something that changed more than travel. We had TSA, made us feel a lot safer. Do you think that we are in store for even more drastic changes permanently as a result of COVID-19?
Absolutely. And I think those are things that as an industry, we have been working very hard. Airports and airlines are evaluating dramatic changes. For now, we have to institute the same measures that you're seeing with face coverings, increased disinfection. But I think very short, you're going to see a lot of that temperature screening and touchless interactions, such as like voice-activated kiosk and touchless bathrooms as well.
So temperature screening when you arrive at the airport?
Yeah, so right now some airports are already testing that. In Asia, more so, but in the U.S., at the moment, the question is more just who will hold that thermometer. It's a hot topic right now. Airlines and airports are saying that it should be the TSA or the CDC. TSA or CDC are saying that they don't want to do it. There's a lot of pressure on the TSA to do it as passengers go through the checkpoint, but that they need to be focused more on security, not on health. I think as a private operator, we're in a better position to handle that. But we're still evaluating that. We're trying to get feedback from airports that are testing it. For example, last night, I was on a call with Brett Smith, who manages Payne Field, the first airport in the country, testing that to get the feedback. And he said that passengers are regaining that trust as they see those type of measures being put in place. The question is still whether they're effective or not. But again, economic recovery is not going to just happen through economic recovery, but it's also going to has to happen together with trust.
How long do you think it'll take for people to come back and fly at the levels that we saw, say, last year?
Yeah, I think there's still a lot of debate in terms of a lot of forecasting happening. A lot of it is short-term planning. When we talk to airlines, for example, with United, they tell us they're planning sometimes 1 week or 2 weeks out. Some of them are doing 45 days out. And so humanity is resilient. We love the adventure of travel, and we're still in a global economy. But I'm also keenly aware that passengers will demand the aviation industry to prove itself. And so what we saw in the history of aviation, all through crisis, aviation recovers and traffic comes back. But I think at the best, we're thinking about 3 years out when we get to pre-crisis levels. But we're already seeing increases in passenger recovery from the bottom, which was the beginning of April. The TSA numbers are encouraging. And I think the summer is going to give us a lot of information of what the fall and maybe 2021 looks like as passengers come back and, again, going back to regaining their trust.
We're seeing video of some of the waiting areas at the gates where the middle seat there is blocked off. I had a good back and forth with Phil LeBeau, who covers the airlines for us earlier on the show, about why we're seeing these packed planes, why airlines are giving up the middle seat to people shoulder to shoulder, often not wearing masks. And, you know, he made the very valid point that these airlines are businesses and they're burning a lot of cash and they have to sell the seats and in order not to raise prices exponentially. What's your perspective on whether the airlines can do this in a safe way so that more people will feel more safe flying?
Yeah, we're evaluating all these dramatic changes, as airport operators, we're just a conduit to bring in passenger to the boarding gate, and airlines are the ones deciding who gets on board and how. But there's still a lot of coordination to be had. Guidelines and regulations still have to come from the federal and local authorities. I think there's still three questions that we still trying to answer: is who's deciding what? How's this all going to be coordinated? How's this all going to be paid? And then passengers, we're going to have to weigh between their personal health, safety, and their personal rights as privacy. The conversations we have with airlines, for example, with Delta most recently, that we hear is that they're targeting 60% of capacity. However, they're still selling more tickets. The idea is that they would bring a larger aircraft to keep that social distancing. Obviously, we've seen that sometimes that's not happening yet. And I think that's just still going to take some things to be ironed out.